Verbalize it.
Verbalizer. Speaking of neuralizer, I saw a trailer for a new Will Smith movie, right? Was it King something about
King
Venus?
King Richard.
King Richard. And like when the trailer was over, my wife turns to me and is like, it was about the dad? I thought it would be about Venus and Serena.
Literally anything else.
I don't know. You got to watch the movie to find out, I guess.
I can appreciate that kind of trailer. I'm like really down on trailers that give away everything.
Sure.
And like actively try and avoid it, which is almost impossible these days. But big on a trailer that it's like, what's going on? I have no idea. Come see it. Like, that's a good freaking trailer.
yeah, just like a little bit of intrigue, like a few the big moments from the first half of the movie, and leave it at that. Don't show me the ending. Don't show me, you know.
Yeah. I think all the moments in the trailer should happen in like the first 10 to 15 minutes of the movie, and then
or they should shoot like a separate trailer. Like, what if they just did a separate trailer and then they'd be like, none of this is in the movie, but it's gonna look kind of like this.
That bothers somebody like me because I look for that stuff. I'm the guy who like tracks like, oh, that was in the trailer. I remember that from the trailer. If there's scenes that's not in the movie at all.
All the time. Yeah. I'm okay with that.
I don't like it.
I love the opportunity to like just see them. I was trying to remember. I think somebody asked this question a long time ago. Would you much rather know about a movie and like the idea and go see it, or like not know anything about the movie at all and just go see it and be surprised? And I'm still a fan of, deep down, I'm still a fan of the element of surprise. I'd love to just go and be like, oh, I don't know anything about this. Let's see what it is. It's so hard nowadays. It used to be a little bit easier, longer ago, because you know trailers weren't as big and as prominent.
Right.
Yeah.
It was like the one guy with the voice, and he was like, in a world, and then it was like the trailer, and you're like, okay, I'll see that one. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think back, you know, it was I feel like people spent more time at the movies back before we had these super powerful television networks, right? Before everything was in your living room, people just like, let's just go to the movie and see what's playing. Let's just
like show up without a plan, maybe like get some, you know, chips and queso before. Yeah. I agree. Television is ruined movies.
About it. It did. Television ruined it. Read a little bit about it. You're like, that sounds interesting.
Right.
Or word of mouth. People are like, oh, you got to go see so and so because it's this and that and that, and then you win.
Shout out to John. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, yeah. Let's do the shout out to John. Come on.
Yeah, sorry, just real quick, because if anyone who's seen the show before will notice that someone is missing from the Can't Tell Us Nothing crew. It's John, whose wife had a baby, right? Like today, I think. So he is doing that thing. Congrats to him. Please send him some love.
Heck yeah, man.
But we keep the show going, and we're joined by a special guest, local. He said he wants to be introduced this way. Local Houstonian Benji. Local man.
You could have said. Local man. Local Houston man. Like a news report.
Local Houston man. Benji is here.
Yeah. That works. That's good.
So yeah, thank you for hanging out with us, man. But we're just hanging out, and on this show, if we feel so inspired to jump into an improv scene, we'll do that. There'll be characters, there'll be some narrative, there'll be some silliness, but at the end of the day, it's just about having a good time, you know? It's about hanging out with some interesting people, picking their brains, hearing their thoughts, and letting that inspire creativity. Am I right?
Yeah.
We also have to mention the Lego room that you're in. This wonderful archive, showcase, museum It's like a whole city is back there.
When the world ends, I hope my body's just in this room, and like they're like, he loved Lego. He kind of needs. They just like try and like he loved Spider-Man and anime, and some mixture of that and Lego, which would not be a definition of me. Well, not a bad definition, but it would have been a misnomer.
What is a good definition of you, Benji? Gonna open up that door.
That's a great question. I'd say a good definition is I care like just so much about my friends and family. And the thing I would want to be like, the thing I try to be known for is just like being the person who can be there and like works hard to like have a good friendship, maintain friendships. That would be what I want. Whether that's succeeding, you'd have to ask the people in my life, but I think I'm doing it.
More props to you, man. I am historically bad at maintaining friendships. Not that I'm a bad friend. I just don't engage a lot in the like call you up randomly, see how your life is doing sort of thing.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I get very preoccupied with what's going on in my life. I don't got the time to worry about your life. If your life and my life intersect, I'll be happy to hear about it.
Meaning your friends would have to call you and get involved for y'all to intersect, or you'd have to bump into them like randomly at a grocery store. What do we
Yeah, probably bump into him in person because Antoine would answer the phone call.
He wouldn't even answer the phone.
I'd be kind of busy.
Yeah.
Might be kind of
I'm
busy
the
living
opposite.
life.
I will make the phone call. I like to talk on the phone, which is controversial now. Like nobody wants to talk on a phone. Even like for professional stuff, people would rather just keep it in email. And I'm like, give me 2 minutes. We can just clear everything up real quick. And everyone's like, that's something else maybe. If I'm known for things, that's my worst quality to everyone that knows me, is I will call you and ruin your day. We can be best friends and I will call you and ruin your day simply by the act of calling you.
Yeah, because that 2 minutes is never 2 minutes, Benji. If anything I've learned, that 2 minutes is actually 15 minutes.
You're absolutely right.
But even in the message process, sometimes that can go on long because I have a tendency, I will text you and put the phone down and then go do something. And I'm like, oh, they responded. Oh, okay. Now I got to respond back to that. And that can go just as long. So you might as well. I mean, nobody just like calls a person and while you're talking, just puts the phone down and does something. They still have to engage, you know, but the text, I know me.
Well, I will say I do call people enough that sometimes they'll be like, oh, sorry, I know you were talking, but so I put the phone down. But what'd you say? And I'm like, all right.
No, I can't speak to that. I don't know. I can't tell you about that.
Also,
I think, okay, that's like reserved for family. Like if I call my sisters or my dad, like my dad will like talk more than me, but my sisters will be like we will idly chat sometimes. We must get it from our parents.
I've also never been good at the whole like shoulder to ear arrangement, like where you put the phone between there until you can do other things with your hands. Very, very uncomfortable, very awkward. I don't like it. I
love it. I love every moment of it. The only workout I get is just managing my shoulders. But also AirPods, like any headphone devices. I have good news for you, Antoine. I've solved all of your problems. Okay.
Antoine's like guy in those bad commercials who's struggling with the phone. And let me see the headphones off.
He can't use a blender. He can't use a telephone.
For some reason, I'm carrying a bunch of lemons like in my bare hands.
They go everywhere. Yeah.
Do we have a product for you? It is a juicer and a cell phone.
Oh, do you see John's message? I purposefully text bad so people will call. I didn't know that's what he wanted. I thought that was just a thing, and I just got used to it. So you want us to call? 5 years ago, you could have told me that. I didn't know. All of this time, I'm just putting it together. I'm like, okay, that's you know, I get what he means. But you want to call. All right, got it.
John understands. He understands.
Oh. How about people who answer the phone having another conversation? I'll the reverse of that. How about people who call you and then tell you to wait after they call you?
That happens.
Oh my God.
That happens.
I'm like, hello?
They call you and they're like,
hold
hey,
on.
can I call you right back? It's like, okay. Yes, you can. You know who does that to me the most is my accountant. My accountant notoriously knows he needs to talk to me. Probably doesn't want to talk to me. And I'm like, please answer the phone. So he will answer and be like, I can't talk right now, but I will call you back. I'm like, all right. I got to pay these comedy taxes, and no one's going to pay it but me and you.
We cut to Benji meeting with his accountant. Hey Benji, yeah, look, I'm sorry about the phone calls, man. I got a bit of a confession to make. I don't understand what you do. I don't understand how money relates to comedy, right? Like, do people pay you when they laugh? Does laughing generate money? Or so I just avoid the conversations altogether, and I realized I was being a bad accountant. So I want to sit you down here in the room with me, and let's hash this out. Let's get to the bottom of how this all works. Explain it.
Well, Harris, first of all, I appreciate you taking this meeting. I have called you 17 times to try and schedule this meeting, and unfortunately, it took the 17th call for us to finally schedule it.
I was pretty busy. I was pretty busy with those other 16 calls. You know. I told you. I picked it up and told you I had to call you back.
You did. But yeah, we've taken the YouTube route in terms of live comedy, and we're doing pay per laugh. So it is a show up when people like things. They don't actually laugh out loud. We can't hear them. It's they watch the comedy behind a screen, and then they just hit a buzzer. And all
right, I'm gonna pause you right there, because again, you've lost me completely, right? If there's a store, they have a product, people come in, they pick up the product, they take it to the register, and they buy it. That makes sense to me. Money exchanges from one hand to the other, and there you have it. They have a product and the thing. What you're describing with screens, YouTube, and buzzers, I don't even understand it. I don't even understand it.
I think you're saying it all wrong. It's actually designed for you, Harris. It's for people who don't like to interact with the world. Instead of having to answer a phone call or see a human being or actually try to work in the world with other people, we just put you in your own space where you can actively ignore people and then choose to interact or not, but everybody else does their own thing. So you don't actually have to see, talk, or respond, but you still get the satisfaction of telling everybody that you were busy doing something else.
Oh my goodness. Wait a second. You're saying that I could be by myself with no one directly interacting with me.
Yeah.
And yet you still can make money from this, and I still get to be left alone to my own devices. And
everything.
Let me ask you this. Is there a chat window? Because I'm familiar with chat, right? Like, I know, like, back in the AOL days, like, I know chat.
That's what we're using, Harris. We're using AOL.
You're using AOL?
We never changed. We never left American Online. We still use dial-up.
I still have CDs.
So you have the CD. If you bring your CD, you get half off.
You know what, Benji? Before, I thought you were some weird, deranged psycho who didn't understand how business works.
Most people just call me a local Houston man. Most people call me that, Harris. But deranged psycho's fine.
Yeah, you might be crazy enough to be brilliant. Tell you what, I'll do it. I'll show up to the show, me and my wife, and I'll see it for myself for once.
Great.
You know, I know I've been avoiding it, all your invites in the past. I was always busy. I had things to do. But I will make the time this time, and I'll bring my CD.
Okay, now here's the problem, though. You have to book your tickets online.
I'm kind of busy right now. I wish you would have told me that earlier. I would have made time, but I got this other thing that I'm about to do.
You can go through American Online. I can set you up in a chat room, and you can trade Bitcoin in the chat room, and people will trade you Bitcoin for comedy tickets. And get this, it's only 1 Bitcoin right now.
1 Bitcoin? Where do I buy that? I don't even know where I would buy that.
You're an accountant. I shouldn't be telling you where the Bitcoin is.
I thought I knew all the coins. They made all these fancy new coins. I don't even understand it. So I just say I'm too busy for all these new coins. Stick with the coins I know.
So we cut to after the show that Harris, the accountant, goes to. He has a great time. He's like interacting with the people on stage, because it's just like he just gets pulled in, and he's walking out, and he's walking to his car with his wife, and a man in a dark suit walks up to him. Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Hi. My name's Smith. I'm with the Treasury Department.
Treasury Department?
Yes.
That's weird. You're not the guy I normally work with.
No. I'm with the fraud division. You in the show just now, you shouted a few things that made people laugh.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, but you get paid for that, and Uncle Sam needs his cut. If you know what I mean, you got to pay your taxes.
I didn't get paid for any. I was just interacting with the show. I thought it'd be funny if I suggested some things.
No, you absolutely get paid. It's in cryptocurrency. What kind of cryptocurrency are you using? Bitcoin? Most people use Bitcoin.
I don't use. Tandy, do you know anything about crypto? I don't.
No,
Did you get paid in there?
That's what I heard.
Did someone slide you something?
I didn't get anything. I was sitting there right.
You would tell me if you got some Bitcoin or something.
If I got Bitcoin, yeah.
Yeah, we didn't get any Bitcoin, sir. I think you have a mistake. I think you made a mistake.
No, I'm looking at my iPad here. It's definitely showing that you owe the U.S. government some funds. So
how much?
If we there's like 5 Bitcoin here. If we can't sort this out, yeah. If we can't sort this, a lot of people laughed in there. I'm just saying. I'm not in charge of like everything. It's what you're doing in there. So if we can't sort this out right now, I gotta take one of you to jail. That's all.
You gotta take one of us to jail.
Yeah.
My wife didn't even say it. Did you say anything in there?
I didn't say anything. Why don't you know about this? You are an accountant.
Yeah, you're an accountant.
I just quickly wave out as I'm like shutting the door. I'm like, Harris, thanks for the suggestions. The Bitcoin's in the AOL. You'll find it in the AOL.
It's in the AOL.